It's 5 o'clock.
It finishes the scene.
And Jonathan Agassi. Well, I think you all know that the reason he's in London is for his film called Jonathan Agassi Saved My Life. Did someone was unaware of the film entirely. So for those that are unaware of it, what's this film?
Well, this film is actually, it's a documentary. I used to be a porn actor for I think about 7 years of my life. Pretty successful one.
You changed the industry.
Yeah, I did some stuff. And I think that the film is following me with, I'm from Israel, but I used to live in Berlin. I lived in Berlin, my father lives in Berlin. We have like a very unexplained relationship because I met him prior to before I lived in Berlin. I met him maybe 3 times in my life. And all those 3 times were like a tragedy. That was a tragedy. So I think the film is following actually my career, my highs and my lows, you know, and with all my relationship with my family. My mom was with me the whole way. I mean, when I was, she was always supportive of me. She never how do you say it, rejected me because of my choices. She chose to stay with me and to be supportive and to be behind my back, be my stone, you know. I don't know how to say it exactly.
My rock.
My rock, yeah, this one. And basically what happened at the end of the film, that's what I said before, that I wanted a really happy film. I mean, I think that I know for sure that if I was still doing porn, if I was still working in this industry, I will never let this film come out. I will never agree to it, because I think the film is, he's going inside the darkest places of the industry, but really, like, literally the darkest places. I mean, he was with me with every show and every events and stuff like that. So you probably, I think that a lot of people that watch my film, after that they have a bit of problem to watch porn again, because suddenly, you know, things is not like the 20 minutes that you see in the thing, in the film, in filming normally.
My introduction to Jonathan was that every decade seems to throw forward a porn star amongst other things, but that kind of revolutionizes the industry. I mean, you're also young. Who knows Jeff Stryker? I don't want to say his name, but there was another one for the decade after that.
I know you mean.
Yeah, okay. Say his name.
Aiden Shaw.
Okay. And then there was Jonathan Agassi, and he brought a kink, a queerness, an authenticity, a lack of performance, and a challenge. You challenged the people you worked with, you challenged the viewers, which is you.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it makes such a good film. The film for me is an indictment of modern gay sex and times, because it's got a really harsh one that we don't really want to look at. But there's a lot of people I work with in the room that know we have to look at this stuff.
Yes.
Your film really does that. So it does cover child sexual abuse, and it, for the viewer, it shows how that manifests into adulthood.
Yes, exactly. This is what I was trying to say before, that when I talked about my father and everything, so I had when I was 12, I went. I have a big brother, and he had a bar mitzvah. He was 13 years old, and he got as a present to go to Germany to meet my father, to meet our father. And I really wanted to go in with him, and I was 12, less than 12. And my father just hooked us up with this woman, like she was, I think, 40 something, and was just wanted us to have sex with her, you know. So I mean, I was of course always gay, so nothing could have happened, but
always very sexually curious anyway.
Yes, that was my first sexual experience, was one of them. Yeah. So I think that what you said, that this is something we talked before, that this is something that I really realized the last year. My openness with sex, the fact that I was always very exhibitionist, you know, I was always showing my dick, and I was taking I was on a cover of this gay magazine when I was 18 years old, and I was with my dick out and everything, and people never understood. I never understood where did it come from, because my mom, she's very not sexual. My sister, I have a sister that is, I think she was a virgin, I think till she was 25. My brother has a lot of complicated things in his head with women, because his first sexual experience was with this 40 years old woman that was actually forcing him to have sex with her. So this year, the last year since this film came out, and I'm talking to so many people, and so many people asking me questions or saying their opinion, I really realized that something with my this agenda, with this sex, with open sex and kink sex and everything, and to explore my limits, was actually started from this point when I was 11, you know. So that's a very epiphany, you said? This is a very strong epiphany to...
In layman's terms, and tell me to stop if I go anywhere, but if when a person is introduced to sex before we are ready to manage it, it feels wrong. There's something organic, almost genetically inside that kind of goes this... essentially, someone is saying to you, what we're going to do now, child, is fuck up your relationship to sex and intimacy and trust for the rest of your life in a really complicated way.
Definitely.
And rather than saying that, they just do it. And so the child then becomes very distrusting, particularly in sexual, but also challenges, wants to see where it is safe. So the child will grow up and go, can I trust you? Here's my sex on a platter. Can I trust you? Can I? Will you reject it? Oh, no, you don't? Okay. And then the next one, can I trust you? Is there anyone in the room that I can throw my sex in front of and you will say, no, I respect you as a whole human being. I think that the sex you're putting in front of me is born of something complicated. I'm going to say no. But many people who are abused, Marilyn Monroe was one of them, and made herself very sexually available to the whole world.
Yeah.
And rarely find someone that rejects them.
For me, it was the same, because when I, Jonathan Agassi is not my real name, and my name is Jonathan, but I was born as Langer. But when I created this image, this Jonathan Agassi, it was really a different person from what I was. When I was 23, I was a makeup artist and a hairstylist, and when I was 24, I was the porn star of the whole gay community. Like everybody, that was my power, and I think it's exactly how you said it, like that. I said that it's not enough from one person, it's not enough for two person. I want to rule the world now with my sex, with my dick, with my things that I know how to do. And 90% of the things, the kinky stuff and the hard stuff that I did in porn, was the first time that I did it, it was in front of a camera. I was just like testing my limits and testing my limits and testing my limits. And at the end, it really, I mean, I think today, this is a bit sensitive for me. Oops. One second.
Just breathe.
In the last, I think, 3 years, I don't have sex. And at the beginning, oh fuck, sorry. I'm not crying because I didn't have sex, because I don't have sex. I'm crying because it's. I think that in the last 3 years, it really felt. Thank you. You see, you always say that. I think in the last 3 years, it kind of felt like I lost my power. I lost, like it's like Superman without losing his power. You know, that was my power, sex. Of course, that I was also doing escorting for many years, and I had sex with. I cannot even count how many tens of thousands of men that I've been with, and So 3 years ago, when I suddenly like stopped having sex, stopped having drugs, doing drugs, stopped being all around sex, it destroyed me a bit. Now, I think in the last year, I'm really working on starting to find balance, you know, in everything. To have sex, but not, you know, like not that I will drink your pee and I will do it like that, and I will tie you up and you will tie me up and let's have crazy sex and do fisting and everything. No, I mean, for me, I think the last time that I did have sex, it was so vanilla that, I mean, and I came so fast because it was like so, you know, it's like discovering your whole persona again. And now I need to really find a way to be in a normal level with sex, with guys, with love, stuff like that. Yeah.
You said you lost your power, but I'd say you're pretty fucking powerful, just like this.
Thank you. And I think that also we are also here to talk about camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Camps and sex camps and everything. So it's really hard to go back and having sex without drugs.
Mm.
It's really hard when it's yeah. You go a bit.
It's been 8 years for me.
Yeah.
Since I had sex.
Yeah. Since you had sex.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
And it's something about touch. I mean, my history is very different to yours, obviously, but there's something about a hug or being affirmed as a sexy being, which you know all about, which is very powerful, and which is also very authentic. And we're allowed to want it. We're allowed to need it. And we're doing an event here in London next week about sober sex because there is such a growing community of gay men in this town and in other cities that just can't do it anymore.
Without camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And many of them might choose to stop doing cams, and they might be really successful at achieving that, but they're no closer to having sex. And some of them we introduce them to psychosexual therapists, and they can spend 9 months in therapy and then come out the other end and really understand why they can't have sex, but they're no closer to doing it.
You know, I never thought about going to therapy about that. You know, about having sex again in a clean way.
You haven't thought about it?
I didn't think about going to therapy. I didn't think that there is a thing like that.
There is a thing like that. There is definitely a thing like that, and you deserve a thing like that. Yeah. You've had a really complicated understanding of sex.
Yeah.
And abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And abuse has been happening continually in your adult life, from my perspective. It looks like it in the film.
But I never thought that it's abusive, you know. I mean, I just thought that this is how it works.
Tell us about the porn companies, and I'm not inviting you to disparage them or anything. Tell us about the companies you work for in relation to exploitation.
To be honest, I worked only for Mikey Lucas. I worked only for Lucas Entertainment, and I did 67 films for him in a course of in a course of almost 5 years. And until the end, I don't think that there was. I mean, I think I just gave it for myself. He didn't even have to ask, do that. You should do this one harder, this one better, this one that. Never. He was never directing me when I was shooting. Towards the end, when I was already a bit fucked up on drugs, and I realized that first of all, I will never forget that I always did safe sex in porn, and I will never forget that in the last year that I had, because I knew that my contract, he knew that the contract is about to be finished after 5 years. So he said, yeah, no, we have to move to Berbeck. And I was objecting it. I said no, even though that in my life I did on Berbeck. But I said no. I mean, I always said that I wouldn't do. And then it started, well, I will pay you more. And you know, and I was on drugs already. I was like, really, I will pay you more, and I will do that. And then it started to be a bit more. I don't remember the net. Yes. Then it started to be a bit more like that. Then I didn't have control anymore. It was like, no, you have to do it. You need to do it. You will do it. You know, stuff like that. It's your last year. I mean, you know, after that, you won't be able to do anything. You have to do it. You have to do Berbeck now. You have to go more hardcore. And in my last film, I remember that like he put me with these 2 giant guys that that with huge dicks, and he said, "This time I want you to do the bareback and double penetration on me." And I remember that I was just I was so sore that I couldn't come. I barely could get it out, so I had to inject this thing to my dick. I think 3 times in one day because I couldn't function. And at the end, when it came to the payback money, the payment, he didn't pay me. He paid me only 1,000. You know, this is what I was supposed to get. Like, I was supposed to get much more. And he said, because you didn't come and you didn't deliver you didn't give me the perfect scene, so I cannot pay you. And in the contract they say, if you don't come and if you cannot get erection, so.
Well, aside, that sounds contractually accurate, but it also sounds like sexual assault or violation to me.
It definitely is. That was the last porn scene that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I never did it again, you know, and so.
The scene in the film which blows my mind is toward the end, but I don't think I'm ruining it for anybody, but
No, it's okay.
I don't care. So you talked about descending into sort of more problematic cam use. You have some really hard to watch G overdoses there where the actual crew have to save you.
Yeah.
God, that's hard to watch. What was it like for you?
To watch it? Because
Yeah.
I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it. I didn't know that there is this kind of footage in the archive. Whenever I was, well, Tomer was with me for a long time, yeah? So it wasn't like I was collapsing one time and it got on tape. I was collapsing all the time. I mean, we can go to eat something and then like I would put me like 2 mls and then that boom in the middle. But I never ever thought that it looked so bad. I never saw myself collapsing. You know, I mean, you're not there when it's happening. And when I saw it, wow, it was a huge dilemma if to leave it in the film or not. I mean, I said, how can I let?
You chose that?
Huh?
You chose that?
I didn't choose it. When I saw it the first time, I said to Tomer, I don't think that I can let other people see me like that. It's not, oh my God, I cannot let, I couldn't let the whole world see me like that in this way because it's terrible. It's terrible. I'm on the floor and I'm collapsing and I'm shivering and my muscles are like all contracting and I'm screaming my face off and it was really terrible. And it happened twice in a row because it happened and then it happened again because I just put more G and everything.
Jonathan, there's some staff in the room. We have about 4 episodes, between 4 and 10 episodes like that a month upstairs on our 3rd floor. And every single one that experiences those overdoses, and there's probably about 100 a week in London that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And none of them have ever had an idol get up and say, "Here's me, you're not alone, I'm doing it first." It really does help that you chose to put that in.
This is why I decided that I wanted to do film. This is why, because to be honest, when after the first screening, when there was like a few gays over there quite a lot, so they sent me a message that a few of them that oh my God, we didn't know that it looks like that. Probably we are looking like that, like maybe once a week when we go out to the club, you know, and it's a mirror, you know. It's like to put a mirror in front of your face. It doesn't matter if it's you or him or her or anything. This is how it looks like. I think that one thing that I understood in the last year, something like that. I think that always when you see drugs in movies, it's always very sexy. They're always sweating in the club and the music is amazing and you know, and then you see them the day after going to work and everything. But nobody really shows you how it is to collapse, to really collapse. Nobody shows you how it's overdosing. Nobody shows you what's happening when you're depressed. Nobody shows you those stuff. You know that you have it. When you do drugs, you know that it will come. You will be depressed and you will have a difficult Monday, but it's different to see it like that.
That's G. If we separate meth, Tina, for a sec, because it's a different kind of drug.
No.
And for me, seeing something on screen, and you were talking about it's often glamorized.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the film towards the end, which is for me, one of the most important moments in cinematic history. And you're smoking a pipe out the back of, I think it's Hustler Ball or something.
Yeah.
And they're saying, get on stage, we need you to perform, we need you to perform. And you're fucked.
Oh.
And it looked to me again like assault again. Go and do sex.
But this is what I came there for. You know, this is what I came there for back then.
Yeah, I know.
That was the job. I kind of tricked my mind to say, you know what, the Tina, crystal meth helps me to do the job better.
So Jonathan, if I'm in a sauna and I'm too fucking high,
Yeah.
is it okay for everyone to fuck me because I'm in a sauna?
No.
No.
Definitely no.
You went on stage and you're fucked.
Yeah.
You were high.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the whole audience just moved in on you with their cameras and their dicks and the cameras and
It
their
was
dicks.
really like that. It was really like that.
And for some people, that's an exciting porn scene that exists in fantasy. And for me and people who love you, that's like, get the fuck off him now.
Yeah. This is exactly what Tomer, when after about the same time that he shot this scene, we had this Hustler Ball, he told me, I don't know how you managed to do it, because it's not people that you like, it's not people that you know, it's not people, it's your fans, it's people that you probably will never, you will never like meet them or be into them or something like that, and they just sit and be like, there was one guy that, and I saw the full scene, there was one guy that was this, I was like sitting down on like half stage, something like that, and I was sitting down and in the full scene, you don't see it in the film, in the full whatever Tomer shot, you can see that I'm sitting down like that and I'm like playing it sexy and stuff, and then you can see that he came on me, like he just came on me. Didn't ask me, didn't warn me, didn't nothing, just came on me. And this is because I was a performer, so I was sitting on the stage, so I mean I wouldn't fight with him or anything, but that was disgusting. That was really disgusting. That was really terrible. But I think that this is something that when you work in porn and in sex shows and stuff like that, it's something that will happen, especially if you're high. I mean, and you're not really in control, and you're not really 100% sure that this is how you want this night to look. But those were choices that I made that I don't think that I was, if I was sober, I would never do that kind of thing. For me to go on stage now and show my dick, I mean, it's something that, oh my God.
There was something missing in your growing up years and in your early adulthood years. Okay, obviously there was assault within your family and that, but there was also a lack of dialogue around consent in your gay community as a young gay man about what is sexy and what isn't, about the role that sex can play in life, about an understanding of what grooming is, and about an understanding of what child sexual experiences can do to you. You didn't get that. It's not your fault. It's not fair.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember when I was 16 or something like that, 16 and 17, I remember that there was a sauna in Tel Aviv, like a very old sauna. And I remember that as children, teenagers, me and another two friends of mine, we used to go every Friday. We used to go over there, and not to fuck, really not to fuck. But I think every weekend there was something that was like, how do you say it when someone is putting himself on you, like, I mean, with strength, like forcing you to do something.
Right.
Almost every week there was something like that, some experience with someone older, someone that. So I think that me and all my friends, this is how the gay sex life of ours, this is how it started. Even if you go to a club and everybody's fucking in the toilet and everybody, so it is something that our community owns. There's nothing to do about it. We are all men, and we love sex, and we love camps, and we love it together. Used to love it together. So it's kind of on the scale. It's like it's not balanced, but it was always like that, I think. So I don't know what you can do to fix it. I don't know what you can do to fix it in a person's mind. To tell me now to do something that I could have done different, or
What I wish would be that when you were at school, when they were teaching sex education, that there was also
I never no.
in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, maybe today there is, but
Okay.
in my days,
Well, see, a lot of us in the room missed out on that.
yeah,
And even today's kids might be getting it, but the sex education they're getting is about pregnancy, maybe about HIV and AIDS or STIs.
Yeah.
But it's not about the role, the role sex might play when you're a 17-year-old, when something might feel good, but it's not good.
Yeah.
And how to understand that and how to communicate that to someone else.
Yeah.
How the fact that if you're walking around with your shirt off in a gay nightclub, does that mean that everyone there can tweak on
Yeah,
or come in your face?
yeah. I remember that one time in I think it was in London that I was famous over here and everything, and I was one time I went with a kilt, and of course I did it the way you should, no underwear. And I remember that there was one guy that he was really hot, like without a t-shirt and everything, and was dancing and everything. And I just came and I lifted my skirt up, and my dick was kind of like semi-hard, and my dick touched him, and he gave me the slap that I never got. Like he turned around, like what the fuck, like with this side, with the insulting side.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I think that was the first time that I've ever came across this reaction to something sexual that I did. It never
That's somebody
happened to me.
communicating a boundary to you. That just
This is
with my
someone
shirt
that
off
has
does not mean I'm
boundaries.
available.
This is someone that had boundaries.
He didn't communicate very brilliantly. Like I'd like him to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's violent.
To be honest, now when I'm thinking about it, I deserved it. It wasn't like I wasn't just like lifting my skirt. Yeah, I mean I was.
You also deserve
Was touching
that
each
when you
other.
come onto someone, because you weren't taught boundaries yourself and you were raised to be sexually prolific.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you'd been taught that, and other people could be taught that this is why you're doing it, have understanding for it, and communicate it to you in a nice way.
But you know that it's even just to explain. You know, I mean, nobody ever explained to me as a child like you are not supposed to do this and that and that. It's like you said that we are talking about pregnancy. Me and my mom, we talked about gay or straight or stuff like that, and but nobody ever tells you what's the limits of where you can go in sex.
Sometimes when they do, they're like religious or ancient art, cultural.
Yeah, but then
so
but
it
then
needs to
it's
be reinvented.
Yeah, but this is like you need to also stay on the ground, and things happen. You know, I mean, religious people can tell you don't do sex, don't ever put a cock in your mouth, don't eat ass, you know, and stuff like that. Hey.
Well, Jonathan, we're getting older.
Yeah.
And it's our job, because remember, there's a generation who died of AIDS, so it's our job to kind of teach the youth these things, because they're not being taught in schools. God knows their mums and dads are not going to teach them. It relies on the gay elders.
I think this is something that you do very well in your Facebook. I always follow and I see all those talks that you do and everything. And this is really something that get into minds of people. We didn't have it. I'm sure that you didn't have it also. I mean, so it is going public now. You know, people start to understand that there should be some teaching.
Your film does this.
And my film does it, but in a different way.
Very aggressively, very Jonathan Agassi, very in your face.
Very in your face,
but,
But it does it.
So it needs it. You know, sometimes you can have a nice chat with someone about consent, and they can give you the answer that, and that we make these things up as we go. And but sometimes you need to, if you don't have those conversations, look what the fuck happens. Yeah. And your film does that.
I definitely think so. I also I'm doing a lot of lectures in the I'm forgetting words today. In this, like, how do you say it?
Do you mean the gay center?
No, yeah, also in the gay center, and not in schools.
What's it called? Because I've been there. That big gay place in the center of the park.
Yeah, Gan Meir. Yeah, so over there you have like a lot of teenagers and stuff like that. So over there I've been I think already 3 times without the film. I didn't bring the film. But we were just talking about limitations and limits, and what can happen if you act like this and that, and what will happen if you will be too promiscuous, you say? You know, I mean, this is stuff that till today, I mean, I'm having like scars from it. You know, it's
Well, when you see the film, if you haven't seen it, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But hopefully it inspires you to be an activist. You don't have to be a filmmaker. You don't have to be what can I say, porn star or film protagonist now.
Whatever you want.
Activist film. It's activism that we can do ourselves, because whether it's on Grindr or if it's the person that we're in bed with right next to us,
Yeah.
we can make sure that they have an understanding of these consent issues of what, when sex goes wrong, it might seem sexy, but it goes fucking wrong in the decades after.
Yeah.
We can have these conversations in bed and on Grindr. We can make Grindr kinder than it is.
Yeah, I was just thinking in my head that, you know, those guys that immediately they don't even send the pictures. They just send your cock, send the cock pictures and stuff like that. And I think this is really something that people really need to understand, that this is not the way to.
Well, the guy that slapped you
Yeah.
because you didn't want your dick in his face, he
Yeah.
was trying to say something to you, which is, you're sexy, and I get you want to have sex with me. You're
Yeah.
being a little too forward, and I've got some boundaries around that.
Yeah.
So
I
he
think
was trying
if
to
you would have told me that like that.
Yeah. But this is what you and me can do now, and it's what we can all do with the people in bed with us and with the people on Grindr, and it's not just something we should be doing. It's really important.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people like you and me, Jonathan, who are getting fucked up
Yeah.
and becoming kind of fucked up adults with fucked up relationships to sex and inabilities to form relationships, struggling with intimacy and complicated family relationships.
Yeah. It's very difficult to create any kind of relationship for me these days. You know, I mean, even though that I am in a good space, in a good place. I'm clean and sober for like 4 years already, and I'm not. It's not like I don't need all the extras now to be attractive to someone or stuff like that. But you know, I mean, I think sometimes, I mean, someone can talk to me. I had this guy, really nice guy, that sent me a message on Facebook, and it was just a conversation of 5 minutes, yeah. But at the end of it, that was the last time I talked to him. He said, "I want you to fuck me like in the films," or "I want you to," you know. And then it immediately, I need to perform. You know what? Leave it. No, it's not. And this is something that I created also. You know, I mean, what can I do? This is something that will stick with me forever. So until I will find this guy that for all I care, I hope he wouldn't even know that I did porn. One day I will tell him, listen, don't tell nobody. I have a small secret. And then I will do whatever you want. But it's really hard to start relationship when everybody knows that you worked in sex, that you had so much sex, that you, all those stuff. But,
yeah, I don't know how people separate a famous entity when it's so
they don't
sexy.
separate. They don't separate. There is no separation. You are a porn star. That's it. You're a dick. I mean, it's.
I also believe in charisma. Like, I believe in it, and
Me too.
you've got a lot of it. And when people are blinded by history, stigma, stereotypes,
Yeah.
when they are blinded by your porn history, and you profoundly impacted them in a horny state, so it's hard to.
So it's in the head already.
But charisma, engage them when you're in bed with them, when you're dialoguing with them, when you're at dinner with them.
Yeah.
Huge, like, challenge them where you've always challenged, the way you challenge your mum to see me in gorgeous stockings and high heels. Challenge your lovers to see you in stockings and high heels and see it as sexy. Challenge your audience to do this. You are a challenging person, so use your charisma to challenge this person, to say, see me differently. I demand it. I'm Jonathan Agassi.
I will get them.
Yeah, I know you will.
I will.
Because you're unstoppable.
Yeah. By the way, I have to say, we're going back now. I met you. Well, David helped me to recover actually from GHB. I was addicted to GHB for a long time, and David really helped me to do that. And you know what? I think that, you know, we didn't meet many times. We met, I think, 3 or 4 times, something like that. You talked about charisma. This is why it's and your charisma with doing that. I will never forget that when we had this talk in this office, and then you explained to me how to quit it, how to stop slowly. I remember everything. And this is the type of charisma that really is, it's important for those situations. But I don't think I have this kind of charisma in me to project it on other people. You know, this is something that I think you have to.
You've just had a different power. You know, you are very charismatic. You are one of the most. Not many people can live with a mum who wants you to be a proper, well-behaved, uncomplicated little boy,
Yeah.
but you are challenging her to see you as the full entity that you are.
Yes.
It's amazing in the film the way you say, "Mum, see me who I am.
Yeah.
I will not take no for an answer." This challenging and this insistence. That
Yeah, but I
faith
have,
in you.
but I had a big luck that she accepted me like that. You know,
she had no choice. I think.
Yeah, she had a choice.
Yeah.
She could have just give up on me, you know, and just say, I cannot handle him anymore. She had her breaking points a few times, but not in a way that she will like disown me or something like that. But
for you and for everyone in the room, have faith in your own power in the bedroom and your own communication skills. When someone is treating you like a sex object, you can go, "Stop, no, stop. Let's just stop and talk."
this
about
is something that I still don't know how to do. Like if someone, I prefer to disappear. If someone will will treat me now like I'm a sex object or something like that, I will just disappear and I will not talk to him again. I will not say, I will not put him in his place, you know. This is something that I need to learn. I think it's important to learn something like that.
Will you try to learn? Because it's really important
Yes.
that you enjoy sex again.
This is
And love and connection and intimacy and touch and all those things.
Thank you.
So, Jonathan,